Well, welcome aboard the news review segment, and we're digging in now. Let me say a very good morning to my very sporty this morning, Mapitso Sebidi. Good morning.
Good morning, Benjamin. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Are you affiliating with Ghana now?
It's not that I'm affiliating. I identify as a Ghanaian.
Oh, you identify?
Yeah, as a Ghanaian.
So when South Africa and Ghana were playing, how did you identify?
Identified with the winning team. Yeah. So I now identify as a Ghanaian. My name is Mapitso Sebidi.
Okay.
Yadanawase.
So the next time Bafana and the Black Stars lock horns, where's your loyalty going to be?
Like I said, the winning team.
With the winning team?
Yes.
So if the Bafana win, you're with them. If the Black Stars win, you're with us.
Yeah.
Okay. But what do you make of yesterday? Did you get to see any snippets of yesterday's performance?
I did. I mean, and I think it was a good game. Well, fairly good game. But we shouldn't get too excited.
Get carried away.
Yeah, get carried away because, I mean, the team that they were playing, like, you know, and you look at our, what the teams that were going to play in the World Cup, pretty tough teams. So let's see how it goes, Benjamin. But, you know, we have hope and we trust that the Black Stars will bring the cup home. Right, boys?
Okay, so you may not be aware of this, but the team that we played, Switzerland, when you check the FIFA log, they are ranked, is it 16th? But guess what? They have beaten Spain, they've beaten Portugal, they've beaten the Czech Republic. Now, Spain and Portugal, I think Portugal is ranked 9th or so. And Spain also high in there, I think 7th, if you check the FIFA rankings. So obviously, I think Ghana is ranked 63rd. Also, from what I hear, we are the lowest ranked team actually at the World Cup in Qatar. So it's no mean feat. Some would say that when it comes to the squad that played for Switzerland yesterday, maybe they were being a bit cautious to avoid injury and all of that. But same could be said for our squad. And we're also missing the likes of our captain, well, our deputy captain, Thomas Partey, and Mohamed Kudus, 2 pillars of our team. So I don't think it was a bad performance yesterday. It was more cohesive in terms of what they did on the pitch. And we can only pray that they can replicate this when they go to the World Cup. If they've been able to beat Switzerland, hopefully, if Switzerland was able to beat Portugal, then we should be able to get a decent result with the Portuguese team. And on that note, I think we should delve into the
But
papers.
do you have a Black Stars jersey?
A what?
A Black Stars jersey.
Oh yeah, I do.
Okay.
I have the yellow one with.
Are you supporting? Are you behind the boys?
I am firmly behind the boys.
Okay, but
I just didn't feel like rocking a jersey today.
No, it's but your face, you know, tells me that you are behind the boys, but you're not really behind the boys.
I am firmly behind the boys. Let me tell you something interesting. I just saw a joke today where someone says, but Iñaki Williams, you know, the Spain-born, I think, player who is now playing for the Black Stars, he doesn't even know how to sing the national anthem. This is not my comment. This is what someone put on social media. And someone said that, oh, no, he doesn't, but he plays well. Or would you like us to go and get Philippe Beho too? He composed the national
anthem. The game.
But anyway, on a lighter note, yes, I'm fully behind the Black Stars.
That's good.
At any time, you know, especially in these economic times, right? One thing that can unite the people, that can put some joy on faces, tends to be football. Definitely. And my prayer is that we would do very well in Qatar, so that at least there would be that, we can take some respite from all the battering we're getting. But on that note, hey, there'll be more in sports. Mukhtar will be taking us, and you girls will be out and about, right? Doing your thing.
Doing our thing. Benissa Lansa will join us later in the show, and she'll be having like interaction with other ladies, and we'll be talking about the game. We'll also, you know, be trying to hype you guys up for the, how many days are we? 2 days away. Yeah, Sunday. Sunday.
It's a guess this thing this morning. Eh?
Yeah,
girls
it's
will
a
be
guess
getting
thing.
it.
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
All right, so I have the Daily Guide this morning, New Crusading Guide, The Finder, and The Meridian. What do you have?
I have the Daily Guide, and you have the Daily Graphic.
Oh, yeah. On a daily basis.
Yeah, Daily Guide, Ghanaian Times, and Wisconsin and Republic Press.
Okay, let's start from your end.
So let's start with the Daily Guide. Oforiatta to resign, that's the question they are posing. Cabinet reshuffle looms, that's the story on page 3. We also have Takrade, fake pregnancy woman is now actually pregnant. That is the stories on page 6. We also have voice on leaked tape is mine, Ofosu Ampofo, and Kent's conflict of interest charge shot down. Let's go to page 3 and check out that story. Oforiatta to resign is the question they are asking, and information available to Daily Guide indicates that President Akufo-Addo is meeting his ministers this Sunday, where the possible exit of Mr. Oforiatta may be communicated to them following what the majority MPs asked for. And then a strong wind of change could blow following a reshuffle of the cabinet, which had been on the lips of Ghanaians for a long time. The president may use the exit of Mr. Oforiatta to carry out the much anticipated reshuffle to strengthen his hands as he looks forward to end his term in the next 2 years. Also interesting story here on page 3, which continues to page 6. The gay bill, okay, but faces challenges. That's according to the Attorney General. Now, the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Godfred Yabodame, has indicated that the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family values bill 2021, popularly referred to as the anti-LGBTQ plus I bill, is not entirely unconstitutional. Good morning.
It's quite a mouthful, right?
Good morning. Yes, Benjamin, what you said, but faces challenges of implementation if the bill is passed by Parliament. The bill, which is currently under review by the Parliamentary Select Committee. Let's see, continues to page 6. The bill seeks to provide for human sexual rights and Ghanaian family values while seeking to prohibit the activities of gays, lesbians, bisexuals, transgender and queers in Ghana. A person found guilty could face up to 10 years imprisonment if the bill is passed. All right, so it's a very interesting story. Like, I wish we could get more into it, but I mean, as you know, that South Africa was the first African country to legalize homosexuality. And I mean, I don't want to be stoned or anything, so I'll leave it to you.
No, your opinions are your opinions. You can be free to share them. I think, like, consecutively, our leaders have shared with the rest of the world. There's a human face to what is going on, but there's also a social cultural face to it, and they must be balanced to reflect the times. I think eventually, as we move ahead, decisions will be made. The stance of the people will be very clear. I have my own position on this. Whenever I talk about this, I talk about the fact that I am very Catholic, a staunch one.
Yeah.
And from the religious perspective, my view is very clear. The Bible is very clear on some of these matters. But my concern has to do with discrimination and how some of these people are treated sometimes. They still are human, and whatever they're going through, it is help that can change the situation. I've actually interacted in recent times. I have I would call the person a friend who recently got in touch. The person actually watches this show. The person is American, got in touch and all of that, and openly said he was this and expected me to be judgmental. And I wasn't, and he found that surprising. The point is not that, and I made it clear, we had interactions, and I said that, look, I'm very Catholic. This is what this means to me. But the person also told me these have been my circumstances and all of that. And I said, look, I don't judge you. I am not here for that. I have my own issues to deal with. I'm dealing with those. You remain someone that I know, someone that I can relate with on any level. It doesn't change anything. Of course, if I had my way, things would be different.
Definitely.
Horses, you can take the horse to the riverside. But
so, like what I always say is that a lot of people, who are advocating for this bill would be extremely surprised about the friends, brothers, sisters around them, and the people around them that are actually lesbian, bisexual, or gay. So I think it's going to be unfortunate when this bill is passed, when, for example, Benjamin, who is a staunch Catholic, and your best friend comes to tell you that, Charlie, this is what's up. And I think it's going to be an unfortunate bill, but let's see how it goes. And
the only point I am making is that let's not, even as we chastise what could be the wrong elements of this in our society, and I agree, I would probably have a society that is wholly heterosexual, if we had our way. But we also know that historically it's not always been that way. All I'm saying is, let's not pick up stones and stone the people, like in the Bible, where they wanted to stone this woman, and Jesus had to intervene and said, "He who hasn't sinned before, cast the first stone." I am not legitimizing this. I have stated my Catholic Christian principles, but I also feel that in some instances, the way they are victimized, that is where my problem is. And maybe let's see how the bill addresses it. Either way, I am for some regulation, but for protection at the same time.
So when you say some regulation,
I think people have cited our laws and made mention of what is in there when it comes to unnatural carnal knowledge and so many other things. I mean, sodomy itself has its own legal dimensions. But I feel that the other side of it, look, it's early in the morning, but bisexuals and all of that, and people who may be practicing same unnatural carnal knowledge, or even, intercourse between a man and a woman is meant to be with certain organs. How about those who are married even, who are doing certain things that contravene that exact stipulation in the Constitution? Those are gray areas. Until the person comes out to say, "I'm doing this," you wouldn't know. And of course, the person wouldn't have committed any crime. So there are so many complications that I wish would be addressed legally. And look, as a people, we must determine this is where we want to go and put it into our legal framework. And I mean, that is that. Move forward.
All right, let's do more stories now and go to Takoradi. I'm sure you can remember about a year ago, there was a Takoradi fake pregnancy scare there. But now that woman is pregnant. But for her current pregnancy, Josephine Mensah, the Takoradi woman, alleged to have feigned pregnancy and claimed her baby was taken away by her kidnappers, would have been jailed 3 years by the Takoradi Circuit Court A. This was after the court convicted the accused on her second charge of publication of false news with the intent to cause fear and panic, contrary to Section 208 of the Criminal Offences Act, even though she pleaded not guilty. So if you don't know that story, you would have recalled that before the court gave its final ruling yesterday, it ordered Josephine to go for a pregnancy test, which proved positive. So that lady is now...
Did she get pregnant because...
She didn't want to... All right. So while she's been fined...
in the cooler, huh?
She's been fined 7,200 Ghana cedis.
That's the equivalent of the penalty units.
Yes, the penalty, 600 penalty units. Yeah. So interesting turn of events.
A bit of a smart legal move, but this also serves the purpose of cautioning people that you can't do some of these things and get away with them. You put out such information, you get everybody panicking, and there would be consequences for that.
Shatawale, good morning.
Ah, well.
Yeah. Shatawale, good morning.
Shatawale,
yeah.
Shatawale.
All right, so that's all I have from
but I know
Daily Garden.
Bulldog took him on in court for his latest, outburst, right?
Yes.
So that matter is pending in court.
So let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Alrighty, let's get into the Daily Graphic newspaper. Wage Agbawe in midst of plenty, yet poor. Pictured there, the Wager Dam. There's also countdown 2 days more to Qatar 2022. And today we're going to get extensively into that. Then payment of $100.7 million petroleum revenue. PIAC GNPC stick to positions. I'll be telling you a bit more about that. Save local industries, employers, labor to government. There's also exchanging money without a license. 8 granted 800,000 Ghana cedi bail. And then Salisu and Semenyo Power Ghana past Switzerland. Let's start with that first story. The Public Interest and Accountability Committee and the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation have expressed divergent views on the account into which petroleum revenue of $100.7 million should be paid. While PIAC insists it should be paid into the Petroleum Holding Fund, the GNPC says it should be paid into the Jubilee Oil Holding Limited Fund, or to JOL, a subsidiary of the corporation. Now, in terms of the lifting of oil, the amount was realized from the lifting of 944,164 barrels of oil from the Jubilee Fields and Anadako CWTP company in the first half of 2022. Testifying as a witness before the ad hoc committee of Parliament hearing the censure motion on the Minister of Finance yesterday, the Vice Chairman of PIAC, Nasir Alpha Mohammed, said the money was rather paid into an offshore account. He therefore disagreed. We have established, that's what he says, that they have not paid that quantum of money which ought to have formed part of the petroleum revenues of Ghana into the Petroleum Holding Fund, and in our view, that is contrary to the law. But we also heard from the Deputy Chief Executive of the GNPC in charge of Commerce, Strategy and Business Development, Joseph Dazi. He disagreed with PIAC that the money should have been paid directly into the Petroleum Holding Fund. But we'll be seeing more of this later as that committee keeps on sitting. Let's get into that story on page 17 very quickly. And this is what it has to say. It has to do with Wejagbawe in the midst of plenty yet poor. And the constituency is home to the Weja Dam that supplies about 80% of potable water to the Greater Accra region. The constituency also boasts of having the first salt company in West Africa known as Pambros Salt Industries Limited. If you've been in that area, you know. It is also home to the Weja Leprosarium and the Gan South Municipal Hospital, popularly known as Akawe. With a population of 223,000 per the 2021 population census, the Wejagbawe constituency has seen rapid urbanization, but that has not been matched by infrastructure growth, especially in terms of roads and drainage. And pictured there recently when the area was flooded after the Weja Dam was spilled, and opinion leaders in separate interviews with the Daily Graphic corroborated the assertion by the residents that the bad road network and the poor drainage systems were the major problems in that constituency. And that means a lot of work for government to do in that area, also for the members of parliament in that area. I'll wrap with these stories, pages 16 and 26. Save local industries, employers and labor to government. And the Ghana Employers Association and the Ghana Federation of Labor have called on the government to provide adequate support and protection for local industries to prevent them from collapse and subsequent job losses for the citizenry. They also stress the importance to subsidize the rising cost of petroleum products and utility services, which had culminated in hardship for both local industries and Ghanaians. And finally, I'll do the one on page 26. 8 persons have been put before an Accra Circuit Court for exchanging money without a license. The 8 are named. They are Muhammad Ali, Barkisu, Yakubu, Shaibu, Suleiman, Isa, Bari, Ali, Bashiru, Saadu Hamidu, Muhammadu Shamsuddin, and Karim Yaya. They were charged with operating a forex business without a license when they appeared before the court, presided over by Adelaide Keddy. And that is it. They have been admitted to bail in the sum of 100,000 cedis each with 2 sureties. And that's it for the Daily Graphic. Of course, on the back page, the talk about our team downing the Swiss. Other stories?
Other stories I'm going to do, before I go into the Ghanaian Times, I just want to do one story from Wisconsin. A very interesting story.
Right.
Female eggs for sale. A business
Female eggs for sale.
For varsity students. Let's get into that story. Now, there's a booming business in the sale of female eggs, with students of tertiary institutions cashing out heavily from that enterprise. Students in some prominent universities in Accra and Kumasi, as well as young women in Ashaiman, Prampram, Tema, and Medina, are cited as heavy diggers of what appears to be a fertile ground to make money from their fertility. A nurse, Akosia Precious, who worked at a family planning center that connected young women to fertility clinics, says that an increasing number of tertiary students are selling their eggs for as low as 2,500 Ghana cedis. Mostly, they're doing this for monetary gains. So she says that she referred about 60 young women aged between 19 and 35 to a fertility clinic for their eggs to be retrieved. Now, the excuse was that it was the only way to fend for themselves, and those from the communities were not as many as the university students.
So university students are doing this as a means of getting by?
Yes.
I mean, someone would say, look, maybe this is greed, but others would also, looking at our economic situation
how
right
would it be
now.
Greed?
Oh, I mean, it's like some people may already come from good homes, yet they want to live a certain kind of life.
Okay.
And so that would be excessive. But then there are those, you don't know the economic situation of these people, which is the other angle. Maybe these people are merely doing this to get by. Whichever way, whether on a religious level or a social-cultural level, this is not in good taste.
This is
not
not
at all.
in good taste. I mean, so someone has to sell their eggs so that they can, probably pay for their hostel fees or probably get books, get resources. I think it's like very, very terrible. So, I mean, you look at the economy and like, so this is what people are doing.
I mean, this is crazy.
This is what people are doing, which is it's very unfortunate. But according to the World Health Organization, infertility is a global health issue affecting millions of people of reproductive age worldwide, and about 48 million couples and 186 million individuals globally have infertility problems. Egg donation is a popular practice in the Western world to help deal with infertility concerns, but in Ghana it is growing. It is a growing phenomenon and only popular among young women. And the only reason why it is so popular is because people are trying to make ends meet.
Well, I cannot say I'm not shaken by this. Like the Americans will say, I'm shook.
I'm sure.
It's. I mean, when I've been watching the tide, and again, I make mention of this. Some of the things I hear nowadays, throughout my time in Ghana, living here, I have not heard of some of these things. When they come up, yes, in some other jurisdictions, they may be a bit commonplace.
Yeah.
But when you start seeing these things rearing their ugly heads, then you know things are
really
going
tough.
down a certain road. Really.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, and I'll be sharing this about the fact that diesel prices have dropped, marginally. I will say marginally because it's about 3 cedis for diesel. It's about 2 cedis thereabouts for petrol. And yesterday I was at the fuel pump. It meant something to me. It took something off what I would have paid.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's still very high, very high. And LPG prices are going up. There are drivers who use gas to power their cars. There are people, most of us, you want us to move away from charcoal.
So how do we move away from charcoal?
How do we move away
if
from
we're
it?
increasing? Talking about fuel, I filled my tank yesterday. In fact, before that, so my car had a fault, right? So I called my mechanic to come check it out. He came and he was like, okay, I just need, it's going to cost like $350, to buy like the sparks.
I actually saw you.
Yeah.
I saw you at the car park and asked you whether everything, she was all over the place getting all, and I asked her whether everything was right. And she was like, oh, my car is, and I saw your mechanic.
Yes. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I had to give him 600 CDs.
You had to give him how much?
600 CDs.
You had to cough up 600 CDs yesterday.
And this is 600 CDs. I wasn't even planning on coughing up. I was thinking, okay, maybe like 300, 400 at least. So yeah, I spent 600 CDs, to fix the fault.
So he had to go to Abosoka and get some parts, right?
He went to Abosoka, I got some parts, and then gave him some, so the 600 CDs includes labor. Cool. And then after that, at the end of the day, I had to, how much did I have? 500 CDs for fuel.
Oh, but your own is good.
No, my tank is not filled because I was like, okay, you know what? I didn't plan to spend the 600 CDs.
Oh.
So now I have to just,
So it's more like a little over half, right?
Yeah, a little over half. And that little over half won't last me until like
next week, Friday. Because I spent 800.
Friday.
I spent 800.
Yeah, so when my tank is like really empty, I'm trying to fill it, then I'll spend like some 800, 850.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like
mine is a little over 800, not exactly, but
how things are going in this country, Chale. And today is Friday. Some of us want to go and chill. How will we chill if we don't have money?
You want to chill?
Well, Charlie.
You want to chill. You don't hear. You don't hear.
I don't hear.
Sikam Pedidi. You want to go and chill
I want
and make
to go
noise.
Yes.
Hey, let's do the new crusading guide. The new
Uh-huh.
weekend crusading guide. You want to go and chill.
Yes.
We are in this together.
Oh no. No.
You want to go and chill.
So there's
when some of us after this will go
on Facebook, and they say that we'll continue to drink until the economy is better. So let the economy get better.
Ayo.
Thank you.
Ayo.
Sure.
Well, let's get into these ones. Berima Sapon gives back to Ifija Setra East constituency to mark his 40th birthday. Speaker hasn't banned phones from Parliament. Yesterday, I had an interaction with some representatives, some members of Parliament here, and they shared their thoughts on that ban. Agreeing, disagreeing, but I brought up the point about, for example, a parliamentarian would want to Google, something and all of that, and they said maybe there could be iPads or, I mean, let's not give a brand, maybe some tablets or something available to them in Parliament so that they can access this, but sometimes it's a distraction.
Yeah.
Well, you could look at the cost-benefit analysis and do the math.
Yeah.
Gay bill not unconstitutional, but faces fundamental challenges, Attorney General says so, re-echoing what you read from that other story. Happy Man Bitters CEO gets international honors. There's also 8 months after new board, Tor refinery still not operational. Industry experts worry. There's Instepri that has been talking about this. There's a statement put out by the executive director, Kojopoku, our very own friend. And that is it, basically, for the new weekend crusading guide.
Okay, let's go to the Ghanaian Times quickly. Africa records 346 terrorist attack in Q1 2022. We also have failure to check executive cause of exploitation of country's natural resources. Sensible use of herbal medicines doesn't cause kidney, liver, and heart problems, Benjamin. And I mean, sensible is in quotes there because most people, how sensible are most people? We also have market lords, much more than a war behind world's food crisis. And public sector workers dissatisfied with 10% increase in minimum wage. We had that conversation yesterday. And I mean, a lot of people are not happy with the 14 Ghana cedis 88 pence was because, I mean, someone was saying on Twitter that the daily minimum wage can't even buy a litre of petrol.
It can't even buy a loaf of bread.
It can't even buy a loaf of bread. So, I mean, while on that note, government is on path to rescue an ailing economy. That's according to the NPP.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into other stories, but let's welcome aboard Ben Efson, editor for the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Uncle Ben, a very good morning to you. Hello, Mr. Efson. Okay, let me try this one more time. The editor of the Daily Dispatch newspaper joins us, Ben Efson. Mr. Efson, a very good morning to you. All right, so we're practically running out of time. Let's do a few more papers. The Finder newspaper, Oforiatta to defend his record, respond to accusations today. And did you see our finance minister the other day? For a moment, he seemed to be nodding off.
You know what? Also, I think we're being very unfair on him.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. First of all, I mean, number one, we know that he's not well. Yeah. Number two is that, I mean, I'm sure the guy is really exhausted, and the guy is not.
That's the point I'm trying to make. He was exhausted. It was clear.
He was exhausted, and this whole thing that like we're showing his pictures. I mean, he's human, Charlie. I think it's very unfortunate. We should we understand that.
Is it unfortunate then? Is it unfortunate that the minority is putting him through this? Do you think?
You know what? The job needs to be done, right? But we also need to cut him some slack. Yeah. He's human. We know that he's not well, but we just need to relax. Is the minority being unfair? Is the minority being unfair by putting him through this? Not. They are not. But, Charlie, we should relax.
Because some of what I saw on social media was rather below the belt.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Let's bring in Mr. Efson now. Mr. Efson, a very good morning to you.
Good morning to you, my brother and sister.
Good morning, Uncle Ben.
All right, so let me just run these stories by you for quick reactions. There's Oforiatta to defend his record, respond to accusations today. He will be in Parliament once more, responding to some of those accusations. Then there is crashes. Motorcycles kill 811 in 10 months. It represents 41% of 1,985 killed between January and October 2022. Then two more stories. Maybe you can just respond to them together and come to Mapitso Sebidi. Will stop any shenanigans scheming by NPP in 2024 polls. That's according to Fifi Kwete. And finally, Bank of Ghana withdraws forex support for importation of rice, cooking oils, and others. Do you have any quick reactions to any of these stories?
Quickly, I'd like to talk about my sister who wants to chill. You have a choice. Go and chill this weekend and Monday what to work.
Sure. I'll definitely chill. As for the chilling day, I'm going to do it.
Do it. I mean, the consequences are there for you.
We all got choices.
Yeah, you see, I think that for many younger people who didn't live through the fuel crisis, Nigeria is a big country. They've had oil for some time. And yes, maybe 120 cedis a gallon, 110 cedis a gallon for diesel is high. But the alternative is more scary. Yeah. Nigeria vehicles queue 2 days for fuel. You go to a party and they give you a 2 gallons of fuel as the souvenir. I mean, if we get to Nigeria stage, we are going to have black marketeers selling a gallon of petrol at 200 cedis.
Yeah.
The step by Bank of Ghana is in the right direction. We were giving money to import toothpicks. You can't have it. We have local rights. So if the Bank of Ghana does not give you forex, which is a bit cheaper, and you go to the black market and you import and you're going to pay 4 times, when you go to the market, you have a choice. Having the very expensive imported rice or the local rice, which is edible, because the women, if I'm sure Joy can do that, when they now open the back and mix the imported rice with the local rice to maximize their profit. And finally, Oforiatta to resign, I think it's been long overdue. The president's first term, he did well. There are problems now. It is obvious that even his own MPs, you see, what many people forget is that the MPs have constituents back home who watch TV, listen to radio. So if people think, and Sekapedede is funny, but it's true. The day I have a forex friend, and for the past 2 months, every day I take down notes of how much the CD is falling, just to find out. And the day those MPs in Parliament decided that they don't want him, the CD magically did not fall. So in Britain, Kwesi Kwarteng, before he presented the budget, cleared it with Liz, the then Prime Minister. When he presented it and the pound fell, the Prime Minister sacked him and she resigned. So I think that, I don't know what I think that President Akufo-Addo is in his second term. And with due respect to the president of this country, when they are in their second term, they are a bit reckless. So if he's going to resign, it will be better. Otherwise, it will be very embarrassing if it hits the fan and the MPs decide to vote against it.
Whom are you saying it would be appropriate if he resigned? Is it the president or the finance minister? Yes.
Oforiatta.
Right.
The easier way out, if the president doesn't want to fire him, the easier way out is maybe the president has accepted his resignation. Maybe he's resigning on grounds of ill health, and the president has accepted it. Because you, the president, you are exiting. The constituents, especially in safe seats, winning your primaries in safe seats is more difficult. Because the constituents know that once you win, you are virtually in parliament. So if you disrespect them and will not push for Oforiatta's, then you go and meet them there when they have the primary.
Okay. Mr. Epson, thank you so much. Unfortunately, the connection didn't allow us to exhaust the matters with you, but we are grateful all the same that you took the time to join us.
Thank you very much, and have a blessed weekend, the two of you.
You
All
too.
right.
Thank you.
And that is Ben Epson, editor, Daily Dispatch newspaper. So just to re-echo, the title of my blunt thoughts for today, The Akufo-Addo Experiment and Our Economic Journey So Far. Crucial takeaways. The Akufo-Addo Experiment and Our Economic Journey So Far. Crucial takeaways. Would you like to know what I have?
Of course, always.
Okay.
I look forward to Blunt Thoughts every Friday. So when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, today's Friday, I can't wait to hear from Benjamin Akakpo on Blind Thoughts.